got here, we got us a mess. This is a car that I'm restoring. And a lot of people would look at this little rust repair that I'm doing, and they would look at it and say, I can't fix that. Well, that's what my friend Pete's here for. He's going to show you how to fix it, and he's going to show you how to do it right.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
Now, in order to do this type of repair right, you either got to have some old panels. Can you grab that floor panel over there for me, please? And this is where the concept comes in that you should keep this stuff instead of throw it away. If Minnie could bring that over here, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. So, what we got here, we got a floor section that we have not used on this car, but we replaced the whole floor basically. The only section we didn't replace was this back piece, which is this right here. But take a good look at this, and you can see all the contours and all the moldings and all the lines and everything that you might be able to use in the future. Do you understand what I'm saying, Minnie?
Yes.
So this is something that I will keep in my stockpile for situations just like this. So if you look right here, now we're looking at the car sideways. This is actually the right-hand side of the car. If it was flipped over, you'd see what I'm talking about. This is a window track where the back window rolls up in, right here. So what happened is from water settling in this vented area, there's a vent that gives in fresh air and makes the air circulate. What has happened, water has settled down in here along with debris and trash, and it has rusted this section out. So if you can see my hand right here, can you see that where I'm sliding my hand up?
Yeah.
All right, think of that as the glass. So what I've done is I've cut this out. Now before I cut that out, I literally had to take this layer of metal off. And that's this right here. So this actually sits on top. This would bend back down, and then this would all be welded together. And I'm going to go ahead and rebuild this piece, but before I do that, you can see with this piece sitting on, there's no way to fix that. Do you understand, Minnie?
Yeah.
So what I've done here is this is actually a sail panel off a four-door car, and this is what we would be looking like outside. And if you look right in here, Minnie could grab that. Can you kind of see those vents in there where air would?
Right.
Okay. And then of course there's like a little gutter inside it, and it swishes the water out. But that's what the problem is that thing is filled up with water. And then of course this is a little different than that because this is a four-door. So this is the area that we're looking at, and then the window would roll up in this channel here. So it would be sitting like this. You're looking at the outside here. Window rolls up here. Being a four-door, this doesn't have that. This is actually the door jamb. So we can't use this piece, but what I can do is possibly take this section right here, all right, and I can cut that out and manipulate my way to make it work in there. Now, this is a little bit different here. This is more recessed, so we'll have to do some work to that. Or another thing I can do, I can go ahead and take my piece that I didn't use that's got all these contours and all these bends, and I could take my piece like this, and I could kind of find an angle, all right, because look at this right here, Minnie. Do you see what I'm trying to tell you, though? I could find something that will work inside all this mess here. Okay, like look at this square right here. Do you see that, Minnie?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I take this square here, and I could kind of like line that up or turn it around, do you see what's going on? Look at that. That's almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yep.
So then I could take this piece here and then manipulate my way to actually making this piece so I could put it back in here. Just like that. So what we're going to do to repair this section here is, if you look right here, this is actually part of the parts car. And I don't know where this came off. I think this is the top of the quarter panel section. That's what this is. This would be your quarter panel that would come down here, and then this is the top section, because I needed a piece of this for something else. But look at the curve right here. I want everybody to look at this curve right here, this one. Do you see that sharp curve there?
Yep.
Okay, if we look right here, and if Minnie can kind of bring the camera down here where my finger is, you can see right under here that there's a lip right there. So what I can do is I can take this piece, I could go ahead and get my piece all ready to weld in there, and then I could cut this lip off. I could grind it and cut it to match this lip here so it'll ride right down. Another problem is this piece right here. This is where our water would run in, and then it would hit this, and then of course it would run out through the quarter panel. And that's one reason these Mercedes, they rust and rot right there at the rocker and quarter panel section, is because the water comes down here and then it runs down through this channel here down to there, and of course all the holes get plugged up, and then eventually time will tell and you end up with a nightmare like this situation here. So I got two tools here. I got one, it's a scribe tool, and I also got a magic marker. We know we're not going to use this whole thing, so I'm going to kind of bring this in right here like this. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of find the lip that's almost the same here, and it looks like it's going to be right in this area here. Do you see that, Minnie? Mm-hmm. So what I'll do is I'll kind of get that lined up right there, and then hopefully I cut this all square. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. I'm going to come over here, and then I'll go ahead and do the same thing here. And then I'll go ahead and cut this off, and then I'll set it up there, and then we'll manipulate our way into doing it, getting it on there. Okay, so another way that we can do this, and I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. This will make it a lot easier. I'm going to go ahead and take my tape, and I'm stretching it out very tight. And then I'm going to come around here just like this, and then watch what happens. Normally I would have dirty gloves on, but I'm going to go ahead and get my finger a little bit dirty, because what I want to do is I want to trace that out. Do you see how I've traced that out using my finger and thumb? And when you don't have gloves on, you want to be very careful not to break through the tape, because when you break through the tape, you're going to cut your finger off. So right there is our pattern that we need. And then what I'll do is I'll take that off, and then I'll go up here just like this, and then right where this lip is that I'm going to keep, I'm going to go ahead and put that right there, just like that. And then I'll go ahead and take my cutting wheel and I will cut this out, but I'm going to go ahead and make it just a little bit bigger. When I cut that, I'm going to cut on the outside of the line, not right on the line. You got to remember, this is like a 1/16 thick, so when you use that, you're taking that much out. Alright, so there's our piece that we cut out. I'm going to go ahead and remove this lip right here because we don't need this lip. So I'll take these vice grips right here to hold that while I cut it. And then now, if we take a look at it, let me bring it up a little closer. You can see that we basically went ahead and made the piece that we need to fit in there. So if you look at this piece right here, look at that, Minnie.
Yeah.
Do you see how it's got this lip? We got our lip down here. We got our roll that's going to come around this corner here. And I want to show everybody that, see that roll right there? This one here?
Yeah.
All right, and then this is going to fit in here like that, see? Now, we got a little trimming to do, but so far everything's looking like it's going to work. So this is where I'm going to use my scribe tool. And normally I would come up here, and I could possibly do that if maybe Minnie can reach up under there and scribe that while I hold it right here. Or let me see if I can do it, because, you know, we're working in our garage and we're by ourselves. So I'm going to push down right there, and then I'm going to take my scribe tool, and then I am going to go ahead and scribe this, and hopefully I'll get a scribe out of it. Let's look and see. And look what happened. So we got a good scribe right there. So now that we're looking at it the right side up, actually this is the inside, this is our outside. We're going to go ahead and fit it in here again. And we always start to fit where we already know it fits. And look at that, Minnie.
Looks good.
You see what I'm talking about? Look at that. Now what we'll do is I will weld this in here. I'm going to clean it all up. I'll weld it in there. And then as I got the heat from my welder, I will roll this edge around to match everything that's going on there. One more thing when you're fixing this type of rust, only remove the rust. Don't overcut, because when you're working with this kind of stuff and you're doing this kind of work, all right, it's very important. Like I said, if we didn't make this piece, then I would have had to go out to the parts car, or I would have had to find something on this piece right here to manipulate my way into making this. If I wouldn't have had a parts car, then I would have took this piece and I would have found something on here, like this area right in here. Do you see that?
Right.
That would have, you see here, look, if we turn it around this way, let me show you. I can come down here and then I can cut it out there.
Right.
All right, I see a couple little holes I still got to weld up. Can you give me my flashlight? All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean the inside, and then we're going to take a look at it, because this is the side that really counts, and not this side. No one will ever see this side, but this side is where we really got to be on top of things. So I'm going to go ahead and take my cutting wheel, and I'm going to use that to clean the inside here. And then when we look inside there, you can see I got a little bit of cleanup inside. I'm going to use my 4.5-inch grinding cutting wheel to clean all that up. Once that's cleaned up, it'll look really nice. Doing this upside down, many of the body shop girls right there is kind of hard, so we'll probably hold off on that until we actually have the car right side up. And while I was down there, I noticed there's like 2 or 3 holes I got to weld up. Let me go ahead and get those real quick. So what you've just learned is basically fixing rust by using used panels, or should I say brand new contoured panels, and also parts off, maybe a parts car, maybe a junk car. Anything that you can use to manipulate your way around fixing something that is basically hard to fix. Am I right?
Yep.
We just learned that it's not as hard as you really think it is. The next thing I'm going to do, and I already see a section here that I can use, is if we look at this thing, do you see that right there?
Yeah.
Look what we got. Okay, and if this doesn't work, guess what? I'll move on to something else. But I could probably take this. That's a little too short, look. Well, not really. No, I kind of wanted this round section here. I'll find me something to use. This ain't, the game ain't over yet. And when it is over, guess what? Checkmate you, because I just won this game that we call chess. Or should I say I just put the jigsaw puzzle together and I'm done. One or the other, it doesn't matter. It's a done deal, and my friend Pete just showed you how to do it right.
Well, let's go over here and see if Pete finally got this done. He's been working on it all day long.
Well, there you go. We just screwed up. I was cleaning the weld out right here, and I accidentally cut through, so I got to re-weld this little section here. But other than that, this is that piece that I showed you. Let me get that piece, and I'm going to show you. If we look right there, you can see where I cut it out. Right here, let me get the old piece. And this was that piece that had the big hump in it, and I hammered and dollied and flattened it all out, because that was this right here. This is the old one, that's this piece right here. And I manipulated my way to making that work. So that's basically the situation you have when it comes to another idea, you might say, of making your own patch panels. I want everybody to look at this right here, and then if you come on over here, now this ain't the exact identical thing. It's not exactly the same. You can't buy these, they're obsolete, but what?
It's close enough.
It's close enough where we can take that and cut it out. All right, I'll cut that lip out on the outside. When I put it in there, it should almost be exactly the same.
Pretty darn close.
So if you ever do this kind of work, you should always keep miscellaneous spare parts like this for this reason itself. This is Pete over at D.I.Y. Auto School, fixing rust and making things work. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out. Now watch what I have to fix that. Off of our parts car, we got a section of the package tray, and it's going to go right here. That's where it goes. So I will cut it out to fit. You can see it lines up perfect. So I'll cut it out where I need to cut it out. Yeah, well that all matches, look.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll cut this section out first, and then I'll have Minnie hold this on there, and then I'll trace it up from the back, and we'll be able to weld that in there. The owner actually said he didn't give a shit about that, but I do. All right? He said just cut it out, put a piece of sheet metal there. I'm not going to do that when I got this to work with, which will give it that factory original setting that we need. So good luck with all your restoration jobs, and hopefully you've learned something from this. I actually sat around for about 2 or 3 days working on something else, kept eyeballing back and forth wondering what am I going to do, how am I going to fix that, and the answer was right there in front of me the whole time. We'll see you later, and take care of yourself out there. God bless everybody. We got a lot of work to do, so I'm getting back to work. See you later.
for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.